Captain America Civil War is now out everywhere, so I can talk some spoilers. Not that there's that many big sort of traditional spoilers that went along with this movie. It was very sort of, self-contained, as it was a Captain America movie, and there wasn't any real big deaths or anything like that that would, spoil you going into this movie. So what I'm going to talk about more is just a lot of the plot points, a lot of the character motivations that I skipped out in my regular review that I thought would be, sort of giving away bits and pieces to the movie if you saw it without seeing the movie itself. And really thinking about it, there's only one big major spoiler in this movie, but I'll save that for a little bit. First of all, I want to talk about some of the action that I didn't get into in my regular review, which of course you can check out right there. So obviously everyone is just gushing about that airport scene. It is fucking phenomenal. One of the best action scenes ever put to film. I love it. Everyone loves it. And of course we get Giant Man. And when I saw that, the whole cinema just went nuts. It was fucking awesome. We kind of knew it was coming. My job at EB Games kind of gave it away because we got a list of toys coming out previous to this movie coming out, and Giant Man was one of those toys. But at the same time, it was still mad as to see on the big screen. They did a really good job. The special effects were great. The way he moved a bit slower than everyone else because of the amount of gravity affecting him was really cool. Another scene that was great that I didn't really touch on earlier was the introduction to Spider-Man, Tony Stark going to Spider-Man's house, talking with Aunt May, flirting a little bit because Marissa Tomei, pretty damn hot still. And yeah, the revelation that Tony Stark had been sort of watching this kid for a while, knew who he was, but was sort of waiting to bring him into the fray when he needed to be brought into the fray. It was just a really effective scene to introduce Spider-Man without doing the Uncle Ben thing. I'm really glad they just omitted that completely. That it doesn't need to be in every goddamn Spider-Man movie. I'm glad they just skipped over all of that. Now I want to talk a bit about Baron Zemo, the bad guy in this movie. I've come around on the idea of Baron Zemo a little bit since my first review. I said that a lot of the plot points in this movie could have been reached without his influence, and I do stand by that, but he really is, at the beginning, the catalyst that sort of starts off this whole Civil War thing, and at the very end, he's the thing that really gets the fight between Iron Man and Cap kicked off in a really big way. Now his motivations are pretty believable. He was someone from Sokovia, and his wife, child, and father were all killed when Ultron attacked Sokovia. So his motivation is pretty sound. I get why he's angry at the Avengers. There's also a scene earlier in the movie where the mother of someone actually confronts Tony Stark, and that sort of kicks off the Sokovia Accords. And essentially they're the same character with the same motivations, but they go about it in very, very different ways. Obviously the mother is wrought with grief, and she wants to confront Tony Stark and just say, this is the face of my child who was killed when you guys were trying to, save the world by blowing everything up. Whereas Zemo, he is military background, so he wants to go this as a military man. He uses his training to essentially pit all the Avengers against each other, and basically, as he says, sort of crumble the Empire from the inside. Now we get to the end, the really big revelation. Now in hindsight, I should have seen this coming because it was sort of hinted at the start of this movie. There's a scene where Tony Stark is at MIT, and he has sort of like these augmented reality glasses, and he sort of recreates the last time he ever had a conversation with his parents before they were killed. And we go through the movie seeing some images of Bucky on one of his missions, and all of this sort of rounds up right at the end, and Baron Zemo's big thing to get the Avengers to finally implode is the revelation that Bucky, as the Winter Soldier, killed Tony Stark's parents. Now if you've seen Winter Soldier, you might have got an idea of this already. There's the scene in the bunker with Cap going through all the computer files, and they see a bunch of the people that Hydra had killed while they were in power, and obviously Tony Stark's father, parents are part of that as well. But it's not outright said that it was actually Bucky that performed that assassination. But in the final scene, Baron Zemo does confirm that Bucky did kill Tony's parents. Tony confronts Cap, asks, did you know? Cap goes, yeah, I kind of had an idea. And then we get the end brutal as fuck fight, and it is amazing. You can see that switch just turn in his head where he's like, I'm supposed to be doing this, we need to, get all the Avengers on the same page, or blah, blah, blah. And then it's just like, bang, Bucky killed my mum. You're fucked. And the fight is insanely good. The choreography is amazing, and the emotional stakes, as well as just the physical combat, just make this fight one of the best ever in the MCU. And you have that beautiful iconic shot of Cap with the shield, Iron Man with his repulsor blasts, and Cap's blocking it, and it looks fucking awesome. At the very end of the fight, Iron Man's helmet has been knocked off. Cap has a shield above his head ready to break Tony's neck, but instead he embeds the shield in the chest of the Iron Man armor. And one of the best parts was as Cap goes to grab the shield, Iron Man says, that doesn't belong to you. My father made that. You don't deserve it. Cap goes, fine, drops it, walks off with Bucky. Now, does that mean that Cap is becoming Nomad? Maybe. I guess we'll see. Now for some of those end and mid-credit sequences that we all go to Marvel movies for. The mid-credit sequence is Bucky going back into cryostasis in Wakanda. Black Panther has taken Cap and Bucky. He's protecting them in Wakanda. And I guess that's going to be a lead up to the Black Panther movie. Maybe we're going to see all three of them in the same movie together. I think that would be really, really cool. And the end credit sequence is just a Spider-Man teaser for Spider-Man Homecoming. So like I said, not that many spoilers in the realm of people dying, but there was that sort of one major story point with Bucky being the one to have killed Tony Stark's parents. But all in all, not a very spoiler-heavy movie, which is fine. That's okay. It doesn't have to be like that all the time. We're going to get some, big plot points coming forward with probably Guardians of the Galaxy, Thor Ragnarok, and obviously the two Infinity War movies. This movie was really wholly about the sort of separation of the Avengers for now. Obviously, hopefully they're going to all come back together at some point, but this is really just about the sort of personal conflicts that have been building up for the last, however many movies we have until we got to this point. So if you're watching this, obviously you have already seen Captain America Civil War, but what was your favourite moment? Let me know in the comments down below. Click right here for all your movie needs. And as always, guys, catch you in the next one.